welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah and today we are partaking in the Journey Through the Bible Readathon for 2025 and this is my TBR. Now this readathon is organised by Katie over at Paperbacks and Ponytails. I love her channel and this is my first ever readathon. I've never partaken in the read of the thons before, but here we are. And as the rebel I am, I'm doing it differently to everyone else. For the challenge, there are 5 different groups and you go through each stage and you pick a different book. Only for me, I won't be picking. I will be randomizing it with the dice. For the full details on the readathon, be sure to check out Katie's channel. This is just my TBR for that challenge. But there are 5 categories, as I said. There's Where Are You Going, which is Jericho, Jordan River, Canaan, or the Red Sea. Then we have What Are You Hunting For, which is Pharaoh's Tomb, Rod of Moses, the Temple of Jerusalem, the Ark of the Covenant, Dead Sea Scrolls, King Solomon's Treasure, or Precious Rubies. Who are you going to meet? Librarian, Pilot, Treasure Hunter, or Tomb Raiders? What do you encounter? Water Pit, Trapdoor, Rolling Boulder, Net Trap. And then we have to choose the right solution to the trap that we find ourselves in. So this part I will be choosing, and that is how do you escape with a knife, trapdoor, clothing, or a rope ladder. And we don't know if the solution we choose even succeeds until Miss Katie lets us know at the end. As I say, I am doing things a bit differently to the challenge. I will be grabbing my little dice, my d4 here, and whatever I roll will match up with the 4s. Otherwise, there's the 7, which I'll just roll a d8 for. Roll, and whatever I get is what we do. And since there's only 5 categories, I may go through the challenge like twice for the month, depending on how many books I get through. And I will be vlogging that journey. So, first we have to show you which of the however many books there are. I think there's like 23 or something. 23 books on the list that I'm going to show you because I could, like, since I'm not choosing, I could get any of these. Any one of them. Rather than being like, I feel like going to Canaan. I might be like, I might end up in Red Sea and I never even chose it. You know, I just ended up there. So we have first up the category of Where Are You Going? So as I say, Jericho, Jordan River, Canaan, or Red Sea. The prompt for Jericho is the biggest book on your TBR. I recently received a gift from a friend, my best friend. Dune. Frank Herbert wrote this and it is a sci-fi series. I believe there's like 5 or so books in the series and this is the first one and it's chunky. The book ends on page... Oh, there's Jessica. Jessica. Also, the main character's name is Paul. I'm not sure how I feel about that. 529 pages in June, so that is my longest book. Otherwise, we have Jordan River, which is crossing 2 genres. And I decided to go with historical romance because I love me some historical romance. And so I chose By His Grace and Favour by Christina, Dudley. And it is the first book in the Lord Dares Dependence series. So I don't have the physical version, so it will be an ebook. Then we could go to Canaan, which is promised to read last year. I didn't really promise to read any books last year. Like most of the books I said I was going to read, I read. But I did discover that near the end I had finished the 2nd book in the Casmian Chronicles series. And I did say I was going to read book 3 after it. So I'm going to choose Of Tides and Treason by Constance Lopez, which is the 3rd book in the Casmian Chronicles series. Then for the final place where we could go, it is The Red Sea. And it's a book that lays flat. Now all the books I had, I was like, wait, I don't break spines. I try not to break or bend the spine. So I'm like, I read it like this, if need be. I don't have many books that lie flat, but I did find an old book. Now that's just a stain. It's nothing horrible happening to the book, I think. And so we are going to choose From Billabong to London by Mary Grant Bruce. And this is a historical fiction It's an Australian one. She's an Australian author. It's set in the 1900s. So yeah, that's the next book. I believe it's book 3 or 4 of the Billabong series. And it's the only one that really truly lay flat because it's an old book. So those are the 4 books for where we're going. The next section we have is what are you hunting for? So there are 7 possible things we could hunt for. To begin with, we have Pharaoh's Tomb, which is a book with royalty in it. And I chose, with the help of my best friend, because my brain was starting to melt by the time I chose 23 books, is Who Made Me a Princess, Volume 2. This is a manhwa. It's a historical one. And it's about a little girl. She's not in that picture. These people I haven't met yet, so I have no clue who they are. But yeah, they are royalty. She is a princess, therefore it fits the prompt. Then next up we have The Rod of Moses, which is a physical book, and I chose City of Serpents by Christina Bear, and it is book 4 in the Secrets of Ormdale series. This is a historical fantasy with a bit of romance thrown in, and it has dragons. Then we have The Temple of Jerusalem, which is special edition. Now, thankfully, Katie did say that you didn't have to own the special edition. It was just as long as you had a book that had a special edition. Thank goodness, because I don't really have special editions. I'm actually going to go with a reread because I really need to read it and I keep avoiding it because I keep promising to make a video about it and I need to do my research first. So, what book is that? If you've been around, you know what it is. It's The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. I have read this once, but we're going to read it again. Hopefully. Maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Depends what the dice roll. And it has special editions, of course. So, that one fit that prompt. Ooh. Next up, we have The Ark of the Covenant, which is favorite genre. I was tossing up because I don't really have a favorite, like, genre, but I decided we would this time go for fantasy isekai as the subgenre, and that is Loud of Count's Family, novel number 3. I've been kind of wanting to put this book on my TBR for so long, and I just keep not doing it. So this time, maybe, we'll land on him. And if not, he goes another day without being picked. It is a Korean light novel. Then we have Dead Sea Scrolls, and the prompt is Book of the Bible. Currently, I'm reading a chapter a night from Genesis, but Genesis has 50 chapters, and I'm only up to chapter 12. So, we're on a roll, but I'm not going to finish that chapter by the end of October. So, we're instead going to read probably one of the Johns, as in the 1 John, 2 John, or 3 John. Did I choose them because they're really short? Yes. I'm not going to deny that, but also, I haven't read the Johns in a while. I love the Bible, top tier book, so therefore, whatever book I end up choosing, it will be at the moment I roll it on the dice. Then we have King Solomon's Treasure, and the prompt is Book of Poetry. Now we all know I love poetry. Ever since I did my course and I had to look at other people's poetry, which I couldn't understand. I haven't liked poetry. However, there is a prompt and I must follow the prompts, and therefore I went to my mother's bookshelf to try and find a book of poems because I do not own any. And I found Selection from Tennyson, Alfred Tennyson. This is a very old book. It was given to my grandfather and then now we have it. Yes, it's a selection of works of Alfred Tennyson, rather famous poet. So it has just a selection of his poems, which I will be reading, if I roll it. And finally for this section, we have Precious Rubies. And the prompt is Red on the Cover. I'm actually going to do an ebook, which is The Faceless Mage, which is the first book in the Legends of Umbrella series. And it's by Kenley Davidson. It's a Kindle Unlimited fantasy. I believe it's romance, but don't quote me on that. My mother recommended it a while ago, so I'm going to pick it up. So that's all for that section. The next section we have is Who Are You Going to Meet? And the options are librarian, pilot, treasure hunter or tomb raiders. So for this first prompt, librarian, it's actually a library recommended pick. And I actually haven't been to my library yet. I will go at the start of the month to a book club, and when I do that, I will look at their board and see if anything intrigues me. So I don't have the book for that yet, but if I roll it, by the time I'm rolling it, I will have gone or be going to the library to check. So I'm sorry, you don't get to know ahead of time, and neither do I. Next one is pilot, and it is a mode of transport on the cover. And I chose Nancy Drew, The Bungalow Mystery. It is mystery number 3 by Carolyn Keene. And obviously it has a car on it, which is perfect for this prompt. It's a little mystery. It's very simple and very easy read. Am I hoping it picks this one? Yes, but there we have it. Then we have Treasure Hunter, and the prompt is foil on the cover. And I realized I have a couple, but what I think I'm going to go with is We'll Prescribe You Another Cat by Ishida. My friend is actually gifting me the book so we can buddy read it, which is incredibly nice of her. And I'm kind of just hoping that it follows with book 1 and has this foiling on it. If not, I will have to choose a different book, but for now, we are going to go with We'll Prescribe You Another Cat. Finally, for this section, we have Tomb Raiders. And it is still a book from a TBR. We don't literally steal the book, but we just take a prompt that someone else got, or book that someone else chose, and get it for ourselves. So I went to Anya's Cottage spring recommendations because Australia, we're going into spring. We're in spring, sorry. We're warming up, not cooling down into the autumnal fall seasons. So I was like, well, let me go back to when she was going into spring and find a book there. And so I've decided to read A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Soft. Again, I don't have the book. I've ordered it, put it on hold at the library to pick up when I do that. I believe it's like a historical romance, I'm assuming. I don't know much about it, but I figure that's how I go into most books, is not knowing much about it. And that brings us to the end of Who Are You Going to Meet? So there's my picks. The next sector we have is What Do You Encounter? So this is a trap. We fall into a trap of some kind. And those traps are water pit, trapdoor, rolling boulder, and net trap. So for water pit, we have the prompt of water on the cover. And I decided to go with A Way Through the Sea by Robert Elmer. This is a war, like I believe it's a Christian war fictional novel. I read these ages ago, so I'm not certain on what it is, but it's definitely Denmark during the Second World War, with German patrol boats and etc. going on. They're trying to get to Sweden by boat. So that's what that one is about. And it matches because they're on water. So I thought it suited perfectly. Okay, next up for Trapdoor, we have Friend Chooses. So I got my good friend who helps me buddy read books all the time to choose a book. She has a different taste to me, so she had a moment, but she decided on Disney's Twisted Wonderland manga, which is episode of Hearts Labiaux. And it looked intriguing, and she has a copy, so she is thankfully lending me the book, but I don't have it yet. I saw the cover and I was like, the premise, and I was like, sounds like something I might like. So it's a fantasy isekai situation. Then we have for Rolling Boulder, new release you meant to read. I don't really have any new releases that I was like, I gotta read. I did most of them last month, or the month before that. So I just went with a new release for this month, or at the end of September. I believe it actually released in July, most places, but Amazon doesn't release it until the 31st of September is their release date. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Volume 1 of the novel. And it is by Sing and Song. It's another like gaming world isekai, I believe. It's quite a popular Korean light novel. And finally for Net Trap, it's a book with a plot twist. And I'm like, well, I don't know if the book has a plot twist or not. So I had to look on Goodreads, and I just went to their list, and I decided on an Agatha Christie book. And I chose The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. It's a Hercule Poirot? Book number 4, I believe. Anyway, supposedly it has a big plot twist that nobody knew about. So I just went with it. It's a mystery. It's an easy to find one. So that's it for our traps or encounters. And finally, we have our escape methods, which is knife, trapdoor, clothing, or rope ladder. So I have made my choice of escape methods. For knife, I had to choose a mystery novel, and I chose Trixie Belden and the Mystery of Glen Road. It is book 5 in the Trixie Belden series by Julie Campbell. It's just a middle grade mystery. I used to enjoy Trixie as a kid, and I still enjoy them now. So, and then for trapdoor, yes, there's a trap that is a trapdoor, but there's also an escape method that is a trapdoor. Very sneaky. And it is a door on the cover, and I decided on Anne's House of Dreams by L.M. Montgomery. It is a historical fiction. And it's got the door. And this is the 5th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. So I'm excited to read this one. From what I vaguely remember, I think I really love this book. But it has been a while since I read it. Then for the escape method clothing, it was person on the cover. And I decided I just needed to treat myself with some skip beat with my girl Kyoko on the cover. Is she a manga character? Yes. But she's still a person too, okay? I don't have books with real people on the cover. So it's always going to be fictional people. So Skip Beat is a manga series. I've spoken about it before on the channel. Love this series. Yeah, so it's going to be one of my escape methods. And then finally we have the rope ladder, which is the highest rated book on your TBR. And taking it out by 0.01 of a point, we have Villains Are Destined to Die, Volume 4. This is a fantasy manhwa. We get all the good things. I love the series too. It's slightly depressing. She goes through a time, but I do love the art and everything going on. It's so good. So I was so happy that this was the highest rated book on my TBR. And that wraps it up. So going forward, I will be vlogging my treasure hunting attempts. And if I go through multiple times, and yet I fail to escape from the trap when it's revealed, look, it happens. It happens, as and I can just say it was time reversed me, which I think works. So look forward to those more detailed on how the heck I'm going to do this challenge in October. So it will be a few weeks, but you'll see it. You'll discover my little journey. Until then, I hope you all have fun time choosing your own TBRs. Thank you, Katie, once again for this readathon. I look forward to everyone else's journeys, even though I'm doing it a little differently, because I'm so unique. Until then, peace.
T26 끝